Climate Now, in collaboration with Copernicus.
Hello and welcome to Climate Now, our unique monthly update on what's really happening to our planet. Coming up in our report, we ask whether planting trees is actually a viable solution to fight climate change.
When we have finished all the emission reduction and fixation options, trees are a great ally.
First, the latest data from the Copernicus Climate Change Service. Globally, February wasn't as warm as it has been for the past 5 years, with temperatures under 0.1 degrees Celsius above the new 1991 to 2020 average. However, if we have a look in more detail, it was an extraordinary month. Across central and southern parts of the United States, it was much colder than average, with Arctic weather stretching right down into Texas. It was much colder than average in Siberia and then warmer up in Greenland. Then in the heart of Europe, we saw a big shift between cooler and warmer weather. One example is the city of Göttingen in Germany, which broke a new record, passing from almost minus 24 degrees Celsius on the 14th of February to plus 18 degrees less than a week later. Now, is this kind of shift a sign of climate change? I asked Professor Daniela de Meissen from ETH Zurich in Switzerland.
So the fluctuations themselves are probably not climate change itself. The cold that we had in early February was mostly a sign of the polar vortex. And once that influence went away, we went back to normal temperatures, actually above normal temperatures, because that's really what a sign of climate change is.
Now to our report, and this month the EU said it plans to plant an extra 3 billion trees by 2030. Its goal is to boost biodiversity, but many of you have been asking us whether planting trees is an effective tool to combat climate change. I went to northern Italy to find out more.
A sunny day near Cremona, and these trees are waking from their winter slumber. From now until the autumn, they'll suck CO2 out of the atmosphere every day, as Diego Florian from the Forest Stewardship Council explains.
Guarda, Jeremy, qui sta accadendo una magia.
Look, Jeremy, there's magic happening here in this little leaf. Thanks to the sunlight and the carbon dioxide in the air, the tree is growing. It's turning the carbon dioxide into wood, and it will grow.
E con questo crescerà.
The amount of carbon stocked in a tree can be calculated relatively easily, just as park manager Fabrizio Malaggi is doing here. A single tree like this holds about a ton of carbon. So how many would you need to plant to offset your CO2 emissions?
We know that on average, a European citizen emits between 5 and 7 tons of carbon dioxide each year. So theoretically, to compensate for the impact of a European citizen, 5 to 7 trees are needed.
Not all woodland is equal when it comes to absorbing carbon. The amount depends on the type of tree, its environment, and how the forest is managed. Young commercial plantations like this are good carbon sinks, according to expert Mauro Masiello.
A forest like this, a plantation like this, can contribute to the absorption, the sequestration of carbon. As it produces timber that will then be used for durable products, it will store carbon in these products, in this biomass. For 12 years, carbon will be fixed that would otherwise be in the atmosphere.
So, well-managed forests and wetlands can offer hope by storing carbon for many decades. But the experts say we need to get our priorities right, stop deforestation, value the forests we already have, and find other ways to cut emissions first.
We shouldn't worry about planting trees because they help us to be greener. From an industrial perspective, first we need to be committed to reducing emissions as much as possible, from innovating technology to adopting less polluting and better performing standards. Then we can also worry about compensating for what we can't reduce, but it should not be the starting point.
You can read more about this fascinating topic on our website, euronews.com/climatenow. And I'll see you next time.
Climate Now, in collaboration with Copernicus.